Okay, Bill asked me to put together a few alternatives for you on this deck, different configurations that are possible. And I've done that, probably overdone it, and I'll try to run through a quick review here as quick as I can make it, and as uncomplicated as I can make it. Ignore the textures like the colors and so forth, and ignore the railings. This might be I don't know what your textures are going to be, and I don't know what railing system is planned on being used. So ignore those, and it's just about the shapes of the deck, etc. This is where we had begun, just a quick sketch thing put together from Bill's drawings from Menards. It appeared to me that there was an endeavor to try to get this step centered on the center line of this bay window here. Ultimately, I was able to find out that that was not going to be possible. You see it here. The stair itself is centered on the bay window, but we're not able, because this step here has to occur no later than here, this step down, and there's no way to actually get the step to be centered on the bay window and then have the symmetrical railings on each side. So that was the first thing that was discovered early on. You could see here the stair is centered on the bay, but the railings on either side are not able to be centered. If you're okay with that, then that could be done. And you can see here the step is centered, but the railing margins are not. So even pulling that step back, even pulling this margin here back, does not get us with the even railings on either side of that step. So the first thing I did was just give up having the step centered exactly on this, shifted enough for the railings to be even on both sides. It makes it slightly off. I don't think anyone's going to pick that up. I show this step down here as far back as it possibly can be. I think probably in the end you should have at least 3 inches or so this way, so that doesn't become a hazard of slipping off right there. And you can see now the stair is not centered, but the railings at least are the same on either side of the stair in this particular permutation, like that. Next, perhaps these little sections of railing don't even need to be here, and so you could change it to something like this. I think this is actually preferable, but you know how you want to live out there. So that is that one. For several of these, I develop a few little additional permutations, and we'll run through everything at the end in a row from this angle, so you can just assess them right in a row. This film just explains some of the impacts and considerations for each one. After this, I want to look at wrapping this step all the way around here, and that's what's this was that plan here, with the railing on this end, your 35 inches coming off of here, 11.4, 11.0, and these are about divided evenly. But next, whether or not that railing could be dropped, have this open, I don't know if that is desirable or if that creates a problem with furniture, but I want to take a quick look at it, whether or not that could actually pull. Once we've already got this stair is not going to be symmetrical on this bay regardless, and it probably even looks better. To me, it looks better like this anyway. So I've pulled this margin here over near the window. Whether that is just with the deck or with a railing as well, there are the two, 11.4, and then we pulled over another foot where it's about even with the margin of this window. Whether that has a railing or not, probably the larger deck is preferable. Here you see this two-level deck with a couple furniture arrangements. Probably this railing is more desirable here than not. One of the things I did want to cover, though, and it probably goes beyond what we were planning on, but I wanted to cover it. One of the things that's said about these two-level decks is that you lose this space in the middle. So you lose space on this and you lose space on this. I think it has an attractive look, the two-level deck, either way. But just for the sake of thoroughness, I want to review, well, maybe you do want to just have a single level deck so that you can use all of that space without regard to where the drop down margin is. So again, for the sake of being thorough, I've put together a few single level decks. They're all one level, and what I've done is made it, everything comes out to this distance here, so you would also pick up this square footage here. Like this. This was just a very go-in point, a starting point. There's no railings on this one. One of the concerns or the troubles is getting you from this house down to the deck without falling off the edge of this. I did not like this from either direction. Besides being a safety hazard right here, I didn't think that was going to work. So I did the next, what I felt was the best compromise. You would probably want railings around some portion of this. Again, I was just throwing it together. So maybe there are railings at some portion. And I would have, at the end, I developed this even a little bit further. So it's still about the same square footage. Construction's probably simpler. Not that you would have these stairs all the way around. I don't think that's the idea at all. But very finally, this has that step down. 1, 2, and then down to the ground. At the very end, though, the last thing I want to look at is, one way or another, regardless of what we do with the decks, this situation is going to have to be addressed. We're going to have to be mindful of how we flash this bay window, how it interfaces with the deck itself. So it is possible, if a person wanted to, if they were going to rebuild the bottom of that bay, it would be possible to just bring this all up where you step right out onto the deck, down 4 or 5, 6 inches from here, 4 or 5 inches from here, with stairs or wherever you want them. Same footage, and then the stairs. So now I will start from that start again and just go through looks from this angle so that you can just assess these one right after the other without all the explanation. Okay, all of these from in a row. This number is the plan number if you want to refer to a particular plan that you like or have selected. Let Bill know. That's the plan number. This one is shown. This is the only one that's shown that this stair is completely dead center on this bay. This is the only plan that shows the stair directly centered on the bay window here, albeit with asymmetrical railings. The next, this step shifts over a little bit like this, so the railings are symmetrical. The stair is no longer centered on the bay, if that matters. That's plan B2. If we get rid of the railings at the stair, C, which C is probably not viable because this is only 28 inches here, so D is the more viable plan. Dropping the railings, extending the deck out, that was nothing with the railings up. And then these are just some changes that happen at this stair tread here, minor little changes. The stair wraps a little bit here, which is probably a better idea. All that happens here is this column comes down further, so in this one now I bring this margin forward a little bit further because I think that matters, and I widen this step. One can happen without the other, but the step is now widened to 16 inches front to back instead of 11. I don't know about this whole wrap. This is more if you were going to have pots or something like that out there. And then we go to the single level decks with railings and step downs. If we come all the way up with stairs, maybe those stairs have their own handrails, etc., and those can be really anywhere around the deck. So that is the entire thing. And again, perhaps what ultimately happens is some composite of several of these plans. but I'll go back through one more time slow without words. Hopefully that was not too confusing. Feel free to get with Bill or me or let us know. Thanks.